Beware of this type of person in life. Once upon a time, in a quiet corner of a bustling city, there lived a man who seemed perfect on the surface. He was charming, successful, and always knew just what to say to make people feel special. But no one suspected the darkness lurking beneath his carefully crafted smile. He'd go to parties, hold court with his impeccable stories, and everyone adored him. He was the life of the room, the one everyone trusted. Until one day, the mask cracked. It wasn't a loud betrayal, no dramatic confession. It was something far more subtle, far more dangerous. The way he would twist your words, make you question your own reality, then turn around and act like the victim. The way he'd make you feel important and then leave you empty, craving his approval. People didn't see it coming. They couldn't. How could they? He was the picture of kindness and generosity. But in the blink of an eye, they would realize, too late, that they had been manipulated, twisted, and used. You might not even notice it at first. You might think you're being helped, being guided by someone who has your best interests at heart. But beware. This type of person isn't just a bad friend. They are a master at making you believe they're your savior, only to leave you drained and questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. Now, what if I told you there's a simple way to spot them before it's too late? Would you trust your instincts enough to see through the facade, or would you fall into the same trap as everyone else? Keep watching, because the real danger lies in how they make you feel. The city was alive with its usual bustle, the streets humming with the quiet chaos of everyday life. But amidst it all, there was a shadow. A man who lived in plain sight, slipping through the cracks of ordinary existence, unnoticed by most. He wasn't just any man. He was the one who could walk into a room and, without speaking a word, have everyone's attention. His name was Daniel. Daniel had a way with people that most could never fathom. He didn't charm with his words, though he was a gifted orator. No, Daniel charmed by making you feel seen, like you were the most important person in the world. And he did it effortlessly, like breathing. He didn't need to try. He knew when to listen, when to laugh, and most importantly, when to leave just enough space between words for you to feel like you were revealing your deepest secrets. And that's where the danger started. But not everyone noticed. Not everyone could see through the perfection of his act. To most, he was the definition of success, a man who knew how to climb the ladder and take everyone with him. It wasn't until Julia met him that the truth began to unfold. Julia was an artist, raw, free-spirited, and often overlooked. She didn't have the social grace of others. She lived her life in splashes of color and fleeting thoughts, but she was real. Every word she spoke came from a place of truth, and her heart bled for authenticity. When she met Daniel, something shifted inside her. At first, she couldn't put her finger on it. She was drawn to him like a moth to a flame, feeling like maybe, just maybe, she had found someone who could understand her. She was used to being the misunderstood one, the odd one out. But Daniel made her feel heard, seen, like for once, someone truly understood her. It was intoxicating. Daniel invited her to dinners, gatherings where the rich and influential mingled. It was a world Julia was unfamiliar with, yet she found herself wanting to belong to it. Daniel, with his subtle compliments and gentle encouragement, made her believe that she deserved a seat at the table. He opened doors for her that she had only dreamed of, introducing her to people who could make or break careers, to names that could elevate her as an artist. But somewhere along the way, Julia started to feel different. It wasn't an obvious shift. There were no sudden outbursts or confrontations, no glaring red flags to catch her attention. It was the small things, those quiet moments when Daniel would casually dismiss her ideas or subtly undermine her achievements. She would share her art, excited and vulnerable, and instead of praise, she was met with something less. A suggestion, a correction, a gentle deflection of her brilliance. And yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that he was right, that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as talented as she thought, that maybe she had room to grow. But there was always a lingering sense of doubt. It was during one of these moments that the true nature of Daniel's manipulation began to reveal itself. Julia had just completed her biggest piece yet, a painting that had taken weeks of sleepless nights, one that she poured her soul into. When she shared it with Daniel, expecting encouragement, he said, It's nice, but have you considered adding more to it? It's almost there, but not quite. It should have been a moment of triumph. But instead, she felt smaller. She felt like her work didn't matter, like it would never be enough. And in that moment, something inside her snapped. It wasn't the critique that broke her. It was the realization that this man, who had once made her feel so special, had been slowly chipping away at her confidence. He had taken her vulnerability and used it against her. The cracks in the illusion began to widen. Days turned into weeks, and Julia's trust in Daniel began to erode. She couldn't explain it to anyone, not even to herself. He was still kind, still charming, still the life of every party. But something was off. She was constantly second-guessing herself, constantly questioning whether her own thoughts were valid. She no longer recognized the artist she had once been. The most dangerous part, though? Daniel never pushed her. He never outright said, "You're not good enough." Instead, he planted seeds of doubt quietly, subtly, until her own mind had become her worst enemy. Julia finally reached a breaking point. One night, after a particularly draining dinner with Daniel and some of his influential friends, she sat alone in her studio. The walls felt like they were closing in on her. She stared at her latest piece, her heart heavy, her hands trembling. It was a masterpiece, but she couldn't see it. Not anymore. She was trapped in Daniel's world of self-doubt. But as the tears blurred her vision, something inside her clicked. She wasn't weak. She wasn't lost. The truth was, Daniel had never really cared about her. He hadn't seen her. He had seen only an opportunity. And now that opportunity was slipping away. He was tightening his grip, pulling her deeper into his world. That was the moment Julia knew she had to leave. But escaping him wasn't easy. It wasn't just about cutting ties. It was about reclaiming the parts of herself he had stolen, one painful step at a time. And as Julia took the first steps toward freeing herself, she realized the most important lesson of all. There's a type of person who will never love you. They'll only love the version of you that serves their needs. As the story unfolded, Julia's journey became one of self-discovery and healing. She learned that the people who truly see us don't make us doubt our worth. They empower us to grow, to be better, to see the beauty in ourselves that others can't always see. But here's the question. How do you recognize this type of person before they leave you questioning everything? How do you protect yourself from falling into their web? The answer isn't simple, but it starts with one thing: trust yourself. If you're still wondering how you could have spotted Daniel before the damage was done, leave a comment below with one moment that made you question someone's intentions. And if you've ever been in a situation where someone drained you without you realizing it, share your experience. Don't forget to like and share this video with someone you think needs to hear this. And if you want to know more about the hidden red flags we miss every day, stay tuned for the next video. You'll want to hear it.